Diane's right here, and we have Danny as well. And we also have, if you're interested in Diane's company, Grace Productions, we've got a brochure up here, and you're free to take one. We just laid out the DVDs she's made in the past as well, so you can see which other DVDs she's made as well. If you guys have questions or discussions about the movie or Danny's job as a counselor and stuff, just feel free to ask.
You have a question?
Yes, Danny, you're an art therapist. How does that work with grief?
It works great with grief and any other type of issue that people are working with in their lives. It's a nonverbal way to work with people. And sometimes that can feel more, easier to explore and talk about things in a nonverbal way. So being creative, you don't even necessarily have to have an art therapist to do that with, but being creative, journaling, knitting, getting out and being physical, anything like that can be really, really helpful in terms of supporting yourself when you're going through a tough time. Does that answer your question?
Can you give me some examples of projects you've used to kind of maybe celebrate the person that you've lost, or remember, or help feel connected with?
Yeah, so ritual is really what Rebecca's talking about, I think, a little bit, is this idea that I refer to as ritual, and coming up with ways that you can remember or honor your people who have died. And there's lots of different ways you can do that. One thing that a lot of people in our community like to do often is maybe plant something in memory or honor of their person. I often will ask people if they have an interest in maybe writing a note or a letter to their person, and then burying that with whatever they plant. Sometimes when I'm working with a family, maybe they might, one of the things that they like to do a lot is making stepping stones. So out of those cement projects, they're pretty easy to do, and then they can add their own personal trinkets or reminders of their person in that. Just two examples, but really it doesn't have to be anything major. If you want to feel connected to your person and you want to remember them, it can be as simple as just taking some quiet time and thinking about them, maybe lighting a candle, and just getting really centered around remembering and connecting with them. One of the philosophies that we talk a lot about at the Healing Center is that it's hard when somebody dies, or when we have a pet that dies. It is definitely a part of our family. That we don't, this process of grief, it is a process, it's a journey, and that it's not about letting go of them and moving away from them, but it's about moving forward and bringing them with you. So how do you stay connected to them? So some of these ideas I was talking about in terms of ritual, there's lots of ways you can get creative to stay connected to your people and to bring them with you as you continue through your life and continue processing the losses that you've had on your grief journey.
And I.
Hi.
S-H-A-R-E. Share. What I did for my D-A-D dad.
Yeah.
At his SERVICE Can I share what I did for my dad at his service?
Absolutely, we'd love to hear what you did.
Memories of Sunday visits in a hospital school where I lived for many years. Memories of being held until visiting hours were over until the following Sunday. Memories of going home for holidays, the ride in the back seat of the car. Memories of Dad taking me home to live with my sisters and Mom. Memories of sitting by Dad playing cards on a Saturday night with aunts and uncles. Dad must win the card game. Memories of sitting by his armchair scratching his head as he slept. Memories of Dad pushing my manual wheelchair up to the front of the gym when I received my A degree. He was as surprised as I was when everybody stood up and clapped. Memories of the camping trip in the Twiller. I forget where we went, but I remember I had fun. Memories of Dad telling me in every little detail when somebody had died or something happened. Oh yes, and those family slides he had to show people when we went to visit. And the memory of me telling Dad that Alan had asked me to marry him. Dad was not that thrilled about the idea, but he later said it was my decision. Memories of Dad asking each of us three girls if he could remarry and give us a stepmom, Aggie. She and I would sit by the kitchen table and have a woman-to-woman talk, which meant the world to me. I could go on with memories, but I would just like to say, thank you, Dad, for being my dad for 70 years, and one day we will be together once again. Until then, no more moving, you hear.
He made your board too, didn't he, Sharon?
Thank you so much for sharing that. Memories are really, really important to us when we are wanting to stay connected to the people that we love who have died. And it's clear that you love your dad very, very much, and your stepmom. Thank you for sharing that. Did you have a question?
Well, one thing that has helped me an awful lot, I keep photographs of my parents and my husband in almost every room in the house, so that, and various stages of their life. When they were babies, when they were young, when they were, as I remember them as they got older, so that's been very helpful.
That's been helpful to you, to just remember them and, yeah, keep them around you, absolutely. Yeah. And all the times that you shared with them. And that can feel bittersweet, can't it? Yeah, yeah. Photograph. Go ahead. Oh, okay. Thanks for sharing that.
Hi.
That's really wonderful. No, gosh, no, that's fine. Take care. Bye.
Father. End.
You're saying he has his father and mother's ashes, and live in an area where he works basically.
Oh,
Is that correct?
yeah. That's another way to stay connected to the people we love who have died is if we have something like that, their ashes. It sounds like that's probably a place that you are maybe at often. So you get to stay connected to them in that way and remembering them, sharing that space with them, which is really nice. Thank you for sharing that. I think one of the things that I love about what everybody shared here today is that there is no one way to grieve. And everybody's experience around death and the loss of a loved one is theirs. And however you feel, whatever feels most important to you around how you want to grieve them, as long as you want to grieve them, whatever that looks like for you, is okay. And giving yourself permission to embrace that and do that grief work in the way that works for you is what's most important. We say a lot at the Healing Center, you know, anything goes as long as you're not hurting yourself or others. So get as creative as you want around your grief and how you support yourself in that. And remember to ask for help. I love what Emma said. It's Emma, right? Emma said that she reached out and asked for help. And she loved the fact that people reached back to her and helped to support her after her mom died. Sometimes it's really hard to remember to ask for help, or it's hard to just ask for help. And taking that little step can often bring a lot of wonderful jewels back into your life, especially when it's a time where you're struggling and things are hard. So thanks for having me here today and sharing your stories. Thank you so much. And I'll leave some of my cards here too, so if you guys are interested in needing more information about grief support or resources around grief support, please feel free to contact me at the Healing Center. Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day. Don't forget, we have brochures here as well.
Thanks.
Thank you for watching the video with us.